if you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? What does he mean by restarting his running journey? And I think to explain, I think we got to go back to the start of my running journey in the first place. So to start, I was in 8th grade and I was on the soccer team at the time. That was the first time I had done any sort of organized sports in my life. And I ended up being a starter somehow. I was super excited to be on a team. But as the season went on, I realized I'm really not all that good at soccer. I'm just the fastest person on the field, and I tend not to get tired very quickly. So with that, I decided to get in contact with the high school track and cross country coach and see if it was possible for me to run for my high school team while I was in 8th grade. Long story short there, I ended up being able to run outdoor track in my 8th grade year on the high school team. I thought I was so cool because of it. Of course, coming off the soccer field, going onto a track, fast has two completely different definitions there. My 8th grade year, I was a oblivious, dream-filled 8th grader. Before I even stepped foot on a track or before I even raced a mile, I think I already had dreams of breaking 4 minutes in the mile. And by the time we got over to our first race of the season, I ran the mile. I ran a 6:13, and I was absolutely ecstatic about that. I had another 8th grade kid. I think he broke 5 in the same race I did. And I just kept telling myself, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get really fast. I fully believed that in my heart as a little 8th grader, that I was going to be a great runner. Fast forward a few years, my junior year, let's start on that first. That's when I really felt like I was getting into the flow of running. I wasn't running any crazy spectacular times. In cross country, I was like an 18:26 5K guy. So not anything spectacular, but before all the trackflation, everything like that. Still competitive at the high school level. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. My main event was 800. I was able to run a 2:05 by the end of my junior year, and not really close to qualifying for states, but I was on the trajectory to maybe qualify for states my senior year. Senior year went super well. Like I said earlier, I was able to be the captain of the team. Indoor track season of my senior year was going really well. I think I was top 8 or so in the 600 meter in the section, and definitely had a chance at states at sectionals. But when it came down to it for that state qualifier meet, I just wasn't on. I wasn't feeling good. Whatever. That race blew it up. There were guys that I had beat pretty much all season long that I couldn't beat, and if I had beaten them, I would have made states, which is just a real bummer, right? But as a senior, I was like, outdoor track, that's my main focus anyway. I was ready, I was hyped. I thought that was my year to break 2 in the 800 and potentially make states with that time. But unfortunately, since I was a high school graduate of 2020, that is when the big COVID hit, and I did not get a senior year outdoor track season, which was heartbreaking at the time. Fast forward a little bit, I'm lucky enough that I was recruited by a college to run just an hour south of Buffalo, small Division III school. But especially with missing out on my outdoor track season of my senior year of high school, I was really motivated at that point to make my younger 8th grade self proud. I felt dissatisfied with how my high school career went, thought there was a lot left in the tank. And with that, I just came into college with a lot of motivation for running, a lot of love for running, a lot of excitement to hopefully race. But that being said, my entire freshman year of college didn't get a chance to race because of COVID. Still, I worked my ass off. I was running 50 plus miles a week. That's the most I'd ever ran in my life. Set multiple PRs just in practices. And then leading into my sophomore year, we officially had our cross country season. I was averaging maybe 60, 65 miles a week leading up to the start of the season. Not a lot of speed work, so I wasn't crazy fast or anything like that. But, first race of the year rolled around. We had a home course. It was a 6K. I remember I ran a 21:52. It was not super fast. That's 5:52 mile pace, I think. And, very hot day, home course, not a lot of speed work. I was just happy to be racing again. I was still certain that I was in the best shape of my life. I had a couple amazing tempo runs. Specifically, I remember we did a mile time trial where I ran a 4:41 mile. Prior to that, my PR was 5:01, and that 4:41 was on the back end of a double where we ran 6 miles in the morning before. So I was just so excited to see like what this fitness could do for me, and especially being more of a track guy than a cross country guy, right? I mean, even though I loved racing in general, I definitely prefer the 800 meter or the mile over the 8K. I was hoping to break 28 in the next 8K. But about, I think, 5 days before our first 8K, or our second 8K, I should say, my fault, we were doing a tempo run, and I was running 2 miles in, feel a little pain, like a jolt in my left foot, and I just assumed it was like a weird cramp or something like that. Finished the tempo run. I tried to cool down, and something was not right in my foot. Went to the athletic trainers. They were like, all right, we'll keep an eye on it. Kept me out of that race that next weekend, the one I was so excited for. It was a fast course, and I really thought I was in shape to run under 28 at that point. But after it hadn't really gotten much better over a week, got some x-rays done on it, and unfortunately it was a stress fracture. So at that point, I was in the best shape of my life after not being able to race for almost 2 years. And after just 2 races, I had to take 2 months off. Obviously, this was a very mentally and physically taxing time for me. I really tried my best to stay in shape through swimming, biking, but it doesn't quite replace running. But you know, long story short, once I got back to running, I did everything I could to get back in shape. But at some point in that process in college, it started feeling more like a chore than it did a hobby or a passion of mine. And that's just kind of how it was from spring semester my sophomore year all the way until the end of my fall semester junior year. And at that point, I had to make like one of the hardest decisions ever, and I decided to quit the track and cross country team for my school in the middle of my junior year. And it was tough. I really did love running. I still do love running, but I mean, it was too much, too taxing on me physically and mentally at that point. And I was kind of restless to try other things. Over my next year and a half in college, I dabbled in some other stuff. Definitely got into lifting a lot. I was tired of being just a skinny distance runner. I did a powerlifting meet that coincided with the marathon my senior year of college, but that was a ton of fun. And while I got to explore all these other athletic endeavors, nothing really quite hit like running for me. Now I'm a little over a year removed from college, and I'm just missing the feeling of racing, being out there, just believing that I can do something great in the sport. And while, you know, I don't think I've done anything very remarkable yet, I want to give myself just one more chance to try. Make my little 8th grade self proud, just go all in on running. Just one more time, see if I can impress myself. And at the end of the day, I'm going to try to document this process as much as I can, as embarrassing as it's going to be. You know, I'm hoping if this can motivate some people to maybe refine their love for running, or find their love for running the first time, or find their love for any sport, whatever it may be. I have some races coming up. I have a 5K at the end of this month, which I'm very out of shape for. I have a backyard ultra marathon in exactly a month now when I'm filming this, which is terrifying. More info to come on that. And then the big goal in these next 6 months is the Austin Marathon in February of 2026. And that is where I am going to be going all in again. I'm trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon there. And yeah, we're just gonna see what we can do. If you watched at this point in the video, thank you so much. Subscribe, like and subscribe. That's what the YouTubers say. So see you in the next one.